Hi, Richard once again from Love Brewing. I'm going to talk today about the Ferrari fruit presses. You've probably seen the videos on the other ones that we've got, the spindle presses and the crossbeam presses. Now the Ferrari is the smaller version to all the presses. First thing I have to say is this company, Ferrari, have been making these presses certainly for 50 years. The quality is excellent. Be very careful though, because there are some Chinese copies which look almost identical to these, and they will not last like these ones do. They have certain weaknesses which I will demonstrate later, but be very, very careful. Make sure you are going to buy an original Ferrari press. First thing, sizes. We've got a 1.3, we've got a 2.2 and a 5.5. So they're three different size presses. The first one I'm going to cover is the 1.3. Now this one, as you can see, is red, painted red on the base and the top. It has a nice little handle, but here, and I think you need to look at really closely, you can see the thread runs through the top. And it's therefore not suited for heavy pressing. It's the sort of press that you would use if you've perhaps got, say, a kitchen and you want to do a little bit of herb pressing where you're not doing much of it. That sort of use. Don't think about using this for making apple juice for cider. It is not going to do the job. So please, if you're going to use this one, make sure you have it for the right application. So I'm going to move this one to one side now, because we very rarely sell this one, and if we do sell it to people who want to make apples, they always end up ringing up to say it's not done the job and it is kaput, and they want the money back, and we always say no, we've told you that is not suitable for doing apples. Right, so we've got the three different presses here. The 5.5, the 2.2 and the 1.3, and I'll demonstrate the 1.3, but I think the first thing that we've got to really be conscious of is the size. It's a 1.3 litre press. So think in terms of something like, say for the sake of argument, a milk bottle carton, a plastic milk bottle carton. Cut the top of it and fill that full of apples. You're not going to get many in there, are you? This is the sort of size that we're looking at. My hand, look at my hand, compare the size. You're going to get probably 3 or 4 apples in there, maybe half a dozen if you're lucky, once they've been pulped. Remember, everything that goes in these presses has to be pulped first. Do not put full, hard apples in these presses. So think in terms of, that's the size, 1.3 litres. So when we press that, we're going to get 30% of that in juice. So the 1.3 litre, we're going to be getting about 35, 40 mils of juice out of this. You've got on the bottom, it's all stainless steel, and as you can see, we've got a perforated basket on the inside. So the need for a straining bag is not so apparent. You can still use them if you want to, but the need is not so apparent. So we've got 2 containers. We've got this one here, which is the outer one, again made in stainless, with the tube coming off it. One goes inside the other. We're now going to fill this full of our apples. So the apples are going to go in here, onto the press. And the press goes into position there. The nozzle slots out the front. We've got a tube that goes on the end of there, which makes it easier for collecting our juice. So we then position this in a place where we can collect our juice from it. The press is going to squeeze down. So as we turn it down, you can see the thing coming now down into the center cage, and we're now going to start pressing our fruit. These Ferrari ones, the top section you can probably see now. It's 3-part with nuts holding on it. The copies are not strong enough here, and they'll fracture in these positions. So be very, very careful and make sure you get a Ferrari original. So this is the 1.3. If we look at the 2.2, obviously this one we're going to be getting again, 30% capacity. We're going to be getting about 700 mils of juice out of that each time we do a pressing. And finally, we've got the 5.5, and the 5.5, again, we're going to be getting somewhere in the region of 2 litres of juice outside. So if we're going to do a pressing and we want to make a gallon of wine, perfect. If we're looking at making 25 litres of apple juice for wine or for cider, then this one, think in terms of doing, this is the big one, the 5.5, you're going to end up doing about 10 to 12 presses to get enough juice out to fill your bucket. If we're going to use a 1.3 litre, where we're getting 300 to 400 mils of juice, you're doing a heck of a lot of pressing. So the size is relevant to what you're doing. The Ferrari, as I say, the fantastic make, they've been going many, many years. The other features are that they've got holes obviously in the feet here, so you can screw this down to a work surface if you're doing your pressing. It's all stainless steel in the cage and the base. Some of the parts are aluminium, but it's a really good press. It's been around for a very, very long time, but I can only stress, make sure you get an original. Have a look at the other presses as well on the website and look at the videos on those, and look at putting the fruit into a pulp first before it goes into the press. Really important, need to pulp it first. Thanks for your time.